Let's talk about using shock value as a storytelling device. Hi, I'm Megan. I am a book dragon in human form, and I am looking to form a coven of other fellow book dragons. So if you like this video, please follow along. Today we're going to talk about a storytelling device I have a complicated relationship with. Because on one hand, I do think every single story, regardless of genre, should be using it. But then on the other hand, if you use it poorly, it ruins the entire story. Let's discuss. So the inspiration for this video came because my parents just started watching one of my favorite shows of all times, Veronica Mars. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know, no need to say it in the comments. My mom does watch my videos and I don't want her to be spoiled. So I started thinking about what they're in for, right? And I went on this long rant about how much I hate shock value as a plot device, how I think it's cheap, it's lazy, it's just a way to say that you care more about surprising your audience than telling your story. And then I started thinking, because murder mysteries rely on shock value as a plot device. If you can guess who the unaliver is before the end of the story, there's not much of a point to finishing the story, you know? Part of the fun is the shock value of who it is at the end. And when you think about beginning a story, sometimes shock value is the best hook to pull you straight into it. So the real difference is that some people use shock value as a device to tell their story, and some use it to sensationalize their story. There's a real difference there, and I think most of the time that difference lies in where in the story you're using shock value. If you're using it to hook the reader in, great, fantastic, pulls them in immediately. If you're using it in the middle of a story, that's just called a plot twist. Most of the time, they're well done. If you're using it to end your story, I think that's where you get me. Now, I'm not saying every story needs a happy ending. That's not what this is about. What I am saying is that ending a story is not an excuse for breaking consistency with your storytelling style. And that's what shock value does. Shock value is a break in your story, a twist against what you have set up as your story, so that the audience perks up and goes, oh, interesting, this is new, I'm paying attention again. And this is true for every genre. It doesn't just have to be action, adventure, whatever. Like, for example, historical romance. The shock value is not going to be something exploding in the middle of the book. Well, if you have any recommendations where it is, I definitely want to read them. Send them my way. But usually it's going to be something more low-key, more character-driven, but still something that breaks the consistency of the story that you told before, that surprises the reader. So I guess the number one takeaway when we think about shock value and using it as a storytelling device is that it should always be used as a tool, not a result. And that usually means it should never be used at the end of your story. That's it for today. Follow along for more Book Dragon content.